we mentioned how we're getting into now in 18, the judgment of the great prostitute. Uh, what is the thing that leads her to her destruction?
Well, let's look at the text itself specifically, but I think that ultimately the answer is going to be that she's going to be destroyed by her own corruption. This is a huge point. Chapter 18, verses 6 and 7, if we kind of skip there for just a second now. So 17 introduced the great prostitute. 18 now begins her judgment. And in verses 6 and 7, it says, pay her back, even as she has paid, and give back to her double according to her deeds. In the cup in which she has mixed twice as much for her. The degree that she glorified herself and lived sensuously, to the same degree give her torment and mourning. And I think what we see is this. I think this, by the way, is true. Like, what's going to bring about the demise of the United States? Every empire falls. It's going to be this internal corruption. We're going to fall because of our own internal corruption. At least that's what precipitates it. The political, religious, and economic systems of the world are predicated upon power and greed. And what happens then is the United States was able to maintain this power because we were the lone superpower for this unipolar moment that we had in history. We're the only power of the world. But the world is starting to catch up. And even if the world actually never attains our power, what's going to happen is the world's going to get enough power that it doesn't matter how much power we have, because what they can do with nuclear, what they can do is decimate us. And there's nothing we can do to respond. It doesn't matter how many weapons we have in our arsenal. It matters with the fact that they have enough weapons to do this damage. So we have this internal corruption that's happening. And I think what we see in the United States is that we became so powerful, we started supplying weapons to everybody.
Yeah.
Right. The military industrial complex. And now we armed the world to actually bring about the destruction of the United States, because we only arm our allies. Well, what happens when our allies are no longer our allies and they have our weapons? I think you see something like that with the harlot Babylon. That is her own lust for power and for greed and for pleasure, or say it this way, Rome's lust for more goods. Rome's lust for more pleasure results in, as we mentioned a little bit the last time, the raping and pillaging of the world. And eventually that's going to come back to haunt her.